May the 23rd. We're going to jump straight to it, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, first of all, I want to say happy Memorial Day weekend to all my service members. You know, myself, I am a veteran of the United States Army. You know what I'm saying? It is important. I have a live stream that I'm doing on Monday in reference to the veterans, not just talking, saying that, hey, we support the people who served, for us to support them with actual action. So salute to all my veterans in the stream. For everyone who's watching this after it's recorded, please like the video, man. I'm gonna get straight to it, man. We're gonna run a poll question today because I really want to see what people think. So the question that I'm gonna ask the stream today, guys, are you in favor of tax cuts for people making over $1 million per year? It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole argument. I'm not saying in my argument that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not in favor of no tax cuts whatsoever. What I'm saying in my argument, are you in favor of people who make more than $1 million per year getting a tax cut? That's the question. So, guys, I'm going to take a few minutes, man. I'm going to get myself situated. And as soon as I get back in, we're going to get to cooking, man. I appreciate it. I thank everyone for joining. Make sure y'all double tap the screen as y'all come in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Good morning. We're going to get straight to it, guys. I called the stream the Revised 2025 Project because we heard President Trump a lot of times when people asked him, they asked him, you know what I'm saying, what about the Project 2025? You know what I'm saying? That was like, President Trump, are you for, are you going to do Project 2025? You know what I'm saying? And if you guys didn't hear it, I'll let you guys hear it. President Trump said, nah, man, we're not running Project 2025. He said, I didn't do. How many of you guys heard that? He said he didn't write that. That wasn't his campaign. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about it and we're going to discuss it. We're going to see how much of President Trump's agenda so far to this point have been aligned with Project 2025. I want to start off by saying, President Trump, a lot of people who did not vote for you or who would not originally support you, they roll with you. You know what I'm saying? They voted for you, man. They gave you an opportunity. They believed in you. You see what I'm saying? So, President Trump, I think it's very important that you give back to the people. You know what I'm saying? That being said, as someone as an ex-server or someone in the ex-service industry, I want to say thanks for the no tax on tips. You know what I'm saying? No tax on Social Security and no tax on overtime. You know, I think that's very important that President Trump will give back to the people. The people believed in him. So that being said, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So the House Republican reconciliation legislation currently under construction. This is from the CBO website. I'm sorry, give you guys my source. I ask y'all, please take a part of that poll too. Y'all, please like the video, double tap the screen. So guys, this is from the Congressional Budget Office from May the 19th. Okay, so if you guys don't know the bill, the big President Trump's big, beautiful bill, which we're pretty much talking about, the first legislation President Trump has, and since in his administration, since he's been president, okay, the bill passed Congress. So, it passed House of Representatives. It still has to get passed by the Senate to go to President Trump. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really looked at it, but the Republicans have the seats in the Senate to get that through. You see what I'm saying? So it's probably going to become law. So basically, we're talking about something that is probably already going to become law. But let's keep going, though. So the House Republican reconciliation legislation currently under construction in the Energy and Commerce Committee would take away health care from at least 8.6 million uninsured, as it cuts at least 715 billion in healthcare spending away from Medicaid, according to initial estimates by the Congressional Budget Office. Now, if someone comes in this stream and they disagree with that, you know what I'm saying? I'll be willing to have that argument with you. But this is what I'm saying. This is what people don't understand. The loss of health insurance for people is a drain on the system. I'm saying when people lose health insurance, they still get sick. They still got to go to the doctor. They still got to go to the emergency room. So say I don't have no health insurance, right? And I need to go to the doctor. I'm still going to go to the doctor. The hospital's still going to see me, treat me. Guess who's going to eat the charges? The hospital eating the charges. The health insurance eating the charges. Does that make sense to you? So taking away health insurance from people is not in no way going to benefit America or the system whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it's going to hurt the system. You see what I'm saying? It'll hurt the healthcare system taking away health insurance from people. The people need the health insurance. That's facts. We've been through this. Among other harmful proposals, the bills will cut the federal matching rate for the Affordable Care Act's Medicaid expansion in the 14 states, plus the District of Columbia that created and funded solely with their own state funds comprehensive health coverage programs to cover people without a documented immigration status. This policy would substantially cut federal support for Medicaid expansion and encroach on state sovereignty. Medicaid is shared responsibility between states and federal government to provide health coverage for people who meet income, residency, and immigration status requirement, include many eligibility rules set at federal level. The federal Medicaid program has harsh immigration-related requirements that exclude all eligibility, okay, for people undocumented, and many people who have lawful immigration status include lawful permanent residents in their first 5 years in the United States. Given these coverage prohibitions, 14 states and DC use state dollars to cover some people who aren't eligible for Medicaid due to their immigration status and programs that provide comprehensive coverage but are not part of the federal Medicaid program and receive no federal funding. State legislature and governors have opted to invest in these programs using state-only funding, recognizing that their residents have health coverage brings both individual benefits such as improved health outcomes and reduced medical-related debt. Listen to that. I'm going to run that back to y'all one more time so y'all can hear this. Okay? It's like in your mind, you got to think, what are we doing the tax cuts for? First of all, guys, let's just be real. President Trump, his first order of business when he came in, right? What'd he do? Him and Elon. Chainsaw. We cutting fraud, waste, and abuse. So the State of the Union address, right? We hear him talk about the 300 people, 300 years old, still receiving Social Security. So we got a 37, $38 trillion deficit. We trying to cut the deficit. That's what we trying to do. First order of business. Okay. So Congress passed 5 bills to this point that President Trump has signed into law. To this point, 5 of them, right? So this is number 6. This is the big, beautiful bill where President Trump needs Congress. He can't do this with an executive order, okay? So we all follow it. Now, so if you're going to come in starting off saying that I'm going to cut trillions of dollars off the deficit, okay? Why would you do a tax bill, first of all, that's going to add trillions onto the deficit? That makes no sense at all. If your whole model, hey, baby, listen, we spending way too much money. Yeah, you right. So, baby, listen, we spend about $1,000 too much a month, so we got to get rid of a car. The car and the insurance, that's going to cut like $600 off our debt. So we do that. And then 2 weeks later, she said, hey, I need $30,000 because I'm finna go buy a car with cash. It don't make no sense. What you gonna add on to you trying to cut away for what? Guys, we gonna get to it. But I want to repeat this though so y'all can understand. State legislatures and governors have opted to invest in these programs. We talking about Medicaid, using state-only funding. State-only funding. They saying they're gonna invest in these programs with their own money, with no federal government money. That's how you know somebody believe in something when they putting their own money in it. These state governors said, hey, this Medicaid program is so good for our citizens. We going to invest with state. This is on the Congressional Budget Office, May 19th. Okay? I'm not just saying this. Recognizing that their residents having health coverage brings both individual benefits. What kind of benefits, Ghost, it brings? Such as improved health outcomes. Improved health outcomes. Y'all, welcome to the Legal Wars podcast. Thank y'all for taking part of the poll. If you guys would y'all go ahead and double tap that screen for me, like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell every time we go live. More importantly, guys, y'all jump down in the comments. Y'all discuss amongst yourselves what y'all think, man, about the big, beautiful bill. You know what I'm saying? William says Trump is a hero. Do everybody in here, is this what y'all believe? Y'all believe President Trump is a hero? You know what I'm saying? Because President Trump isn't in Congress. He said he ain't cutting Medicaid. President Trump said tax the rich. So I'm not talking about President Trump, y'all. Make sure we understand this. We talking about Medicaid and we talking about Congress, the House of Representatives and the Senate, okay? So state legislators and governors said they want Medicaid. They'll do their own funding because it has improved health outcomes and reduced medical-related debt. That's what we gotta always remember, guys. If this person, I don't have health insurance, I'm gonna go to the hospital, then guess what? The hospital ain't getting no money for that visit. They losing money. The hospital lose money. The doctors losing money. The nurses losing money. The staff losing money. That hurts the health insurance industry. Does that make sense to you? Who's going to catch the cost? If somebody can't afford to pay it and they still got to get the health care, who's going to catch the cost for it? If they got Medicaid, at least the hospital getting something. That's my point. Community, and then that person is getting health, community benefits such as improved public health outcomes and less uncompensated care. The federal government pays 90% of the cost covering Medicaid, so I guess the state's gonna have to pay more. California can afford it. Illinois can afford it. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to think of the blue states that can afford it. But some of these other states, they can't afford it. And if you in a red state and you depend on Medicaid as your insurance, man, you might get cut in 2026. Medicaid enrollees who gain coverage through the expansion, the House Republican legislation will penalize states that cover people who are undocumented. I don't have a problem with that. Anybody in the stream got a problem with penalizing states covering immigrants? You see what I'm saying? If you want to cut something, they need to cut. Yeah, okay, I could get you with that argument. They're not American citizens. Ghosts, they're here illegally. Okay, yeah, y'all do that. Cut that. I ain't on that red stuff, blue stuff. I'm on some red, white, and blue stuff, okay? With state-only funds, by cutting their Medicaid expansion match rates from 90 to 80%, the reduction will begin October 1st, 2027. Federal funding to the Medicaid expansion group, the vast majority of whom are U.S. citizens, will be cut substantially in the affected states unless the state ends the state-funded coverage of immigrants. This proposal is a substantial outreach of federal authority attempting to coerce states into not spending state funds in particular ways. I don't have a problem with that, y'all. I do not have a problem with Congress saying that we're not giving health insurance to immigrants. Does anyone have a problem with that? I don't. We estimate that reducing the federal matching rate for the Medicaid expansion in D.C. and states that use their own funding to cover people who are not otherwise eligible for Medicaid because they are undocumented will cut $76 billion in funds to these states from 2028 to 2034. That's not bad, $78 billion, but I would think you would hope for more cuts than that. CBPP estimates measure reductions in federal funding that states will have to assume to maintain their current programs, including both their Medicaid expansion and their state-funded program covering people who are undocumented. The estimates do not incorporate assumptions about how states might respond to the cuts in federal funding, which CBO estimates typically do. CBPP estimates do not include interactions with other provisions and the House Energy and Commerce Reconciliation Bill. Now, guys, look, I'm going to just start by saying this is coming from the CBO in May 19th. Like I said, midnight, the night before last or last night, whenever, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Louisiana, stand up. Mike Johnson, salute my boy. You know what I'm saying? I like Mike Johnson, man. I ain't gonna lie. You feel me? My boy Mike Johnson said he passed the bill. He got the bill passed, so it's passed. So we're not talking about any current bill. I'm talking about Project 2025, how it has been revised, how President Trump is now saying tax the rich and he's not going to cut Medicaid. I'm not hating on President Trump and whatsoever. But any cuts to Medicaid, I am completely against. I think it is wrong. And the reason why they want to cut Medicaid is to give a tax break to billionaires, which adds money to the deficit, what they're complaining about when they first came into office. President Trump, when he first came into office, him and Elon cutting the waste and abuse. And then you can't turn around and say, hey, I'm going to give Elon a $78,000 tax break. What's up, Elon? Hey, listen, I'm going to say Elon too, bro. I see you on the females, boy. Y'all know Elon be pimping, bro. Elon, I see you, my dog. Nah, look, if you go up to Elon and you do an interview, bro, and you say, Elon, bro, you need that 78,000. What, bro, what's 70? Y'all go Google how much that man make. Bro, that man made more than 78,000 probably every couple seconds. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to do nothing for him. I'm saying, what is the point of adding trillions of dollars to the deficit to give a tax break to rich people? They don't need no tax break. Point blank, I'm standing 10 toes on that, and I'm still rocking with President T. Who with me? Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen. Y'all like that video. Y'all down in them comments, man. Y'all keep them comments coming. Join the conversation. Who with me, guys? I'm still rocking with President T, man. But we ain't for no cuts to no poor people's program. And President Trump is hearing us. That's why he said we ain't gonna cut Medicaid. But I don't like this either, though. I don't like this. You talking about cutting food stamps? I don't like this yet. Able-bodied people do need to go to work. But you got to make sure you know what you're doing with that, first of all, so you don't yank the carpet under somebody who really need the help. But second of all, it's the reason why you doing it. You doing it to give a tax break to people who don't need the help. You see what I'm saying? But the no tax on tips, how many servers in the stream? How many people work at the casino or work in the service industry where you're getting tips? No tax on tips. He helping the people put money in their pocket. Him saying, no tax on overtime, he put money in their pocket. No tax. So anything you do for the people, I'm for that. Let's go, though. So we getting into it now, guys. That was just the intro, okay? That was part of Project 2025. And that's why I started with that, the revised. I want to show the transformation of President Trump. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people can't see it. I could see it. They looking at President Trump as like he got older and weaker. I'm not looking at him like that. I'm looking at him like how I would look at myself when I first started cooking in my first 4 years. And then if I look at myself after 4 more years and my next 4 years, how good of a job I was as a cook. So I look at President Trump as a president in his first 4 years where he really didn't know what was going on. He didn't really know the system. He took 4 years off and he had time to think and reflect. And then these 4 years, I'm looking at him as a more experienced statesman. Regardless of how we feel about what we feel, that's how I look at it. He is older, so he is calmer. He is gentler. He might have lost a step. But I don't think that's a bad thing because I think before he was way too hyper, he was too outgoing. So to see him anywhere calmer is great. Again, y'all double tap the screen. So we going straight to the news story. How much President Trump said that Project 2025, he had no parts of it. So we looking at President Trump since January 20th. Samuel Potts, what's up, Samuel? Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen. I got one of my moderators in the chat. Y'all double tap the screen for your boy, man. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all keep that chat active. Y'all discuss amongst yourselves, y'all. So y'all check this out, right? So this is a CBS article from April 25th. We getting into it. How much of President Trump's agenda is actually lined up with Project 2025? Because we know President Trump said, hey, man, I'm not Project 2025. That's not me. Let's check it out. Okay, so this CBS, as I said, Washington, President Trump repeatedly distanced himself from Project 2025 on the campaign trail. Y'all don't act like y'all don't remember him saying that. Okay? Saying he had nothing to do with it. What y'all heard me just say earlier. That's what he said. The initiative spearheaded by the Heritage Foundation had not read it and didn't have any plans to. President Trump, big President T, now you know you my dog, man. I'm not gonna hate on you, bro. Straight up, man to man. But come on, President T. I gotta keep it real with you now. We gotta keep it 1,000. That's what I do. I'm gonna ride with you though, but we ride 1,000. But as the president marked 100 days in the White House, many of the plans he has rolled out since the start of his second term closely align with those in the pages of Project 2025 sprawling 900-page policy blueprint, which lays out an overhaul of the executive branch. Not saying it was good or bad, but I do remember a particular debate where a young vice president from the state of California, she said that he gonna be Project 2025 President Trump. Y'all remember that? He said, oh, nah, nothing to do with, not me. Overseen by the Heritage Foundation. Y'all, we need to look into the Heritage Foundation. What's the Heritage Foundation, y'all? Come on that stream down there below in that chat. Project 2025 has an initiative that was designed to provide a roadmap for the next Republican president. So Project 2025 is about more than President Trump. It's not President Trump that we worried about. Listen, this CBS, this is what they said. So y'all go get CBS. Y'all go get on CBS, okay? So CBS says that the Heritage Foundation, because I didn't even know that, it's a roadmap for whichever president becomes from the Republic. You know what that's telling me? You know what that's telling me? That's telling me there's a power source that's going to plug in regardless of who the man is. Don't that tell you that? Whoever it was, the next Republican president, we going to plug in. This is our agenda, Republican. He just the man. That's what that say to me. On the campaign trail, the president called some of his proposals abysmal. What? President Trump said some of Project 2025 was abysmal and said he knew nothing about it. He might not have, but the Republican Party did. You know about it now, don't you, Mr. Trump? Because this is the executive order we need you to sign next, the Heritage Foundation. The Heritage Foundation, CBS fleshing you out. They telling us who running the country right now. The Heritage Foundation is running the country. Oh, y'all didn't know? It's a legendary paralegal you dealing with. You feel me? Now, the authors of some of the policy guide chapters, let's find the authors, y'all. Can we find the authors? Served in his first administration. Oh, these are Trump's people working at the Heritage Foundation and have returned for the second. Oh, they still with him. Ross Vaught. Oh, we got a name. Is leading the Office of Management and Budget. That's a big one. Mr. Vaught, that's a big one. And John Ratcliffe, I heard of John Ratcliffe, is the CIA director. Mr. Ratcliffe, he a big dog now. Y'all respect that one, for real. Which Peter Navarro, we all know Peter Navarro, who was a top trade advisor to Mr. Trump in his first administration, returned for a second stint in the White House. Some of Mr. Trump's actions, I don't know why they call him Mr. Trump. Let me fix that for y'all. Some of President Trump's actions taken in his first days in office, reinstate measures to put in place during his first term that were revoked by President Biden. But in other instances, President Trump has taken new executive actions that echo policies outlined in Project 2025's. Listen, policy book. Guys, I just want to ask y'all, here's the question for y'all. So, here's the thing about Project 2025. Forget if President Trump said he was going to enact it or not, because we know he's running the playbook. That's what he's doing. That's what it is. I don't cry about stuff like that, okay? That's politics. That's the game. We ain't worried about that. My thing is these gentlemen, Ross Vaught and Peter Navarro, I'm saying in the 4 years, those 4 years, listen to me, y'all. I'm going to stand up for you. Quick thought. I'm staying with the news, y'all. I'm not rambling. Listen. Them 4 years that President Trump was not president, okay? Listen, I don't think what we see these first 120 days, first 4 months or so, I don't think we would have seen that in his second term if he would have won the election. Because if he wins the election, he's still in the White House, so he just going to keep doing what he did at the end of in 2020, 2021. It would have just kept rolling, and we'll have a new president right now. Y'all feel me? But I'm saying him taking that 4 years back, what I think happened is similar to a rapper who goes to prison, or to a writer who goes to prison. I think what happened is President Trump had those 4 years to reimagine what he was trying to accomplish and do, and to put it all on paper in a 900-page book. But here's the thing, y'all. I don't think that Peter Navarro or Russ Vaught is dictating the White House. I think what happened is they all got together, they brainstormed, and they wrote a playbook. And Project 2025 is the Republican playbook. And those gentlemen said, regardless of whoever is the next Republican president, this is our playbook. And probably majority of that was President Trump's vision. So what I think Project 2025 is just a vision that President Trump had that his people wrote down, and they took that playbook it's like a golden playbook that they had, and they took that playbook to the Heritage Foundation, and they said, whoever becomes the next Republican president, this is what we gonna run. What y'all think of my analysis? Now, this is what I'm gonna say. If you asking if I hate or dislike that, I'm saying how has your first 120 days in America, how has it gone? Let me ask y'all that. Let me stop and do that. We're gonna get back to the news. We're gonna go over all the stuff that President Trump, okay? We're going over all the stuff, CBS, thank y'all, but we're going over all the stuff that President Trump enacted or didn't enact in Project 2025. But here's my question, guys. Y'all first 4 months in, okay? I'm going to jump down here for just a second. I want to see what y'all got to say. First 4 months in, Stacks, De Niro, Rob, Hold My Beer, Mike Side, and Casas. First 120 days in, is your life better than it was the previous 120 days? Can you see improvement in your life? Good, bad, or indifferent. We all know now that he's running that Project 2025 playbook. That's what he's running. We don't care what nobody say. We thought President Trump out his own mouth said he's not going to do it. Because he obviously he hadn't kept all the way to it. He hadn't cut Medicaid that deep. He said to tax the rich. So he's listening to the people, no tax on tea. He's helping the people out a little bit. You see what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is so far with the Project 2025 playbook, has your life improved? Has it got better? Has it got worse? I could say me personally, I'm not going to lie, since President Trump has been in office, and it's not necessarily from his policies, but it's from the man. Since he's taken that position, my life has improved drastically. If we look at the overall of America, well, I'm going to save that for the news, but ask yourself personally, is gas cheaper? Is the price of goods cheaper? You see what I'm saying? Where I'm from, to me, it looked like it's about the same price. But I know for 1,000% fact, there's a bunch of good jobs out there that you could get right now. And that's what President Trump and the Republicans believe in. Now, if there was not any jobs out there, I would say something totally different. But there is a bunch of good jobs out there, high-paying jobs that you could get right now. I know that for a fact. So, y'all tell me where I'm wrong. Y'all, how about on immigration? Is the border safer? Are the streets safer? The city safer? 120 days, he done more in 120 days than most presidents do in 4 years. That's what I'm saying. In 4 years he had off, he had a playbook. He said every single hour, I'm president, we running this. And he came in there and they was serious, bro. They came in there, bro. No, they ain't with Elon, everything, bro. He President Trump, he quarterbacking, he calling plays. He got Elon, he called Elon. He got the Elon. You know what I'm saying? He come back into play. President Trump, Peyton Manning, Scott B. I'm saying that's what happened, bro. We see what's going on. This the playbook. Nah, right, wrong, or indifferent. We could say whatever we want to. The stock market is a little bit higher than it was when he first came into office. But I know one thing for a fact, that trade deficit is nowhere as bad as it is. America's making millions and billions. They're taking in millions and billions of dollars every week off those tariffs. So it ain't no $1.2 trillion trade deficit no more. That's gone. Now, I started off with the taxes, man. President Trump still got 3.5 years to try to get that deficit down. He's going to have to bring Elon back for round 2. That's just point blank, period. And anybody want to hate on Tesla or on Elon Musk, y'all can meet me outside right now. We could get this over with. Elon, I got you, big homie. You feel me? Elon hollering at all them females, bro. He think I don't see him, bro. I'll be watching you on TV, Elon. Y'all, let's get into the content. So what has President Trump done that was according to Project 2025? President T, I'm going to keep you honest, baby. That's why you're going to love me. And I'm going to love you too, President T. I'm going to rock with you. But I'm not rocking with you like some fan who got his nose wide open, bro. I'm going to rock with you to make sure that, yeah, we rocking right. We rocking straight and we getting W's. You feel me, President Trump? If you brought me up to D.C., man, I might bump into y'all in a little bit, in a couple days, couple weeks. But President Trump, if y'all brought me up there, bro, I'll put that on everything I love, bro. I'll be the coldest legal dude in the room. Ask about me. Every argument that the White House brought out will come off an idea from my head, I promise you. Abolishing the Department of Education. Republicans have long called for the Department of Education. So this ain't just President Trump now. Yeah, I'm holding up for President T. This ain't just President Trump. Republicans have long called for the Department. So how many of y'all in this stream, let's start this conversation. How many of y'all are for the abolishment of the Department of Education? How many of y'all for? Me personally, I wasn't for it. You see what I'm saying? But if it works, we're going to see in the fall if you still could get a student loans grant, and if you got a problem, FAFSA, if everything is working, then what can you say? If it works, you can't say nothing if it works. That's what I'm saying, President Trump. As long as this works, as long as what you're doing works, then they're not going to have a problem with it. But if it don't work, if it don't work, bro, because I'm saying them Democrats, they're going to be head hunting. First time they get an opportunity, they go, oh, I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch that back end for you, President T. Plus, I'm cool with a lot of Democrats. I love them Democrats. I don't have no problem with people like this. Yeah, I ain't on no political horse. You feel me? I'm on an American horse. It's draped in red, white, and blue. It's Memorial Day weekends, y'all. Everybody in this stream right now, y'all, please, please, please spam an American flag in this stream right now. If y'all spam an American flag in this stream right now, y'all gonna be my best friend. Whether you like President Trump or whether you like whoever, y'all spam the American flag in that y'all. That I'm telling y'all, bro. Thank you, Dodie. Getting it started, y'all spam that American flag in that stream, Omar. Come on, Omar. We want to see that American flag, man. You know what I'm saying? So y'all say that y'all against Omar, y'all against, tell me if y'all against abolishing the Department of Education. Is it bad? That's what I'm talking about, King Draco. That's what I'm talking about, my bid. King Draco. That's what I'm talking about, bid. You feel me? Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen for me if y'all hadn't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, guys. If y'all want to become a member of the channel, it's only $2.99. Got a bunch of great content up. You know what I'm saying? If you guys want to donate to the channel, super chat, super stickers, super thanks, any kind of donation at all, y'all hit that button below with the $sign in it. And your donations are much appreciated. We talking about the Department of Education. President Trump took steps to begin that process when an executive order he signed in March. The administration has already cut the Department of Education staff and making plans to move some of the functions to other agencies. Shuttering the Department of Education, however, will require act of Congress. So, guys, number one, Department of Education. Is that good, bad, or indifferent? Y'all tell me. Number two, ending diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. President Trump, this is another thing right here. Me and President Trump, you know what I'm saying? We kind of don't get along on this right here, President T. You know I love you, though. But President T, we got to stand up and protect our culture, man. That's our culture, President T. I'm a black male. That's what I am. I'm going to protect my culture, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bond and stand with like-minded people who are marginalized or discriminated against. But that don't mean I'm racist. That don't mean I don't like a white person. That don't mean I won't pick a white person over a black person to come ride with me. That don't mean I won't pick a white girl over a black girl to spend the rest of my life with. But I'm still black, and I'm going to stand 10 toes on that. The president frequently rails against DEI, and he signed an executive order on the day he returned to the White House, ending all DEI programs within the federal government. President Trump claimed in his order that DEI policies violate federal civil rights laws and shut out Americans who deserve a shot at the American dream. Oh, y'all agree with that or disagree with that? So President Trump is saying DEI means that they might hire a ghostwriter just because he's black, but it's going to shut out somebody who needs a shot at the American dream. I'm not sure about that, President Trump. I think it's just the opposite. I think DEI gives people a shot at the American dream who never would have had a shot, like Barack Obama. Project 2025, and he ain't no DEI president, but I'm saying like DEI, yeah, we need DEI. Project 2025 likewise calls for the DEI apparatus at a variety of agencies to be dismantled. I'm gonna start right there, and I'll make sure y'all understand that. What's going on behind the scenes, President Trump, with y'all political stuff? I'm not talking about that. If President Trump, your dismantling of DEI initiatives help you fight against a liberal agenda, I'm saying I'm not talking about that, President T. That's y'all's thing. You see what I'm saying? President Trump's fight against any liberal agenda is on y'all. Omar, I'm going to pin that, bro. I'm going to get to it in just a second, though. We got a lot to go over, man. You know what I'm saying? That's on y'all. I'm not talking about no liberal agenda fight. I'm talking about strictly the rights of the people as far as black people and black culture. Project 2025's policy book also calls for deleting a variety of terms, including DEI, abortion, and gender equity from every federal rule, agency, regulation, contract, grant, regulation, and piece of legislation that exists. Some of Trump's administration's early efforts to purge mentions of gender or race resulted in missteps that promoted a public outcry and were later reversed. What y'all think, man? I ain't know nothing DEI, man. I ain't for no DEI, gender, whatever. Like, yeah, you can't mess with no women either. Yeah, we don't do that. But he get on the all the other stuff. Don't know if you a man or a woman. Yeah, President Trump, get them. I'm just saying, like, these men in these businesses who treat women like, you know what I'm saying, disrespectful. Nah, we ain't for none of that, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? If you want to treat a woman or a man, we ain't for none of that. So that's two things off Project's 2025 playbook. How's it turned out for you, Omar? Any black people in the stream, I want to ask y'all, has the President Trump's DEI Project 2025 revised? First 4 months, was it better under Biden as a black man, or is it better under President Trump? Straight up. Was it better under Biden as a Hispanic, or is it better under President Trump? Straight up, y'all. Make sure y'all double tap that screen for your boy, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to donate at any way possible, it's much appreciated. It's the button with the $ below. Now, what's next on the playbook? Shifting FEMA costs to the states. I'm not sure if I'm against this, y'all. Y'all could tell me if y'all against this, but I'm not sure if I'm against this. Omar, I see you, baby. I'm going to keep pinning you, though. I'm going to get to you in just a second, okay? And thank you guys for y'all support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So shortly after the start of his second term, Mr. Trump established a review council to advise him on the ability of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. Man, I'm talking about President Trump and them been busy, bro. They've been working, boy, to capably and impartially address disasters occurring within the United States. The council will also advise the president on recommended changes related to FEMA, his order status. So President Trump, we're going to see when the storm comes now. We're going to see how your government respond to it now. Mr. Trump's directive came after he suggested that he could get rid of FEMA and leave disaster response management to the states. What about the poor states, President Trump? That's what states are for, to take care of problems, he said late January. Mr. Trump also signed an executive order in March that declares it is the policy of the U.S. that state and local governments and individuals play a more active and significant role in national resilience and preparedness. Bro, I'm in Biloxi right now, so I can speak on this. And says that his administration will enable state and local governments to better understand, plan for, and ultimately address. Oh, okay. The overall at FEMA has sparked concerns about the agency's capabilities. Listen, let me say something about this. President Trump, man, I don't know. We're going to Project 2025 and revise President Trump. You better be glad I like you, man. Golly, President T. Because what I'm saying is this: what I remember, President Trump. I remember so vividly. Like, y'all remember the storm happened in North Carolina and Georgia and South Carolina. It started in Florida. I forgot the name of the storms. I'm really not good with names, but the storm came through, and President Trump was out there in front saying that people only getting $750 from FEMA. I'm saying, so what President Trump gonna say if the storm comes to Alabama and Alabama don't give their people nothing, or they don't give them enough money? $750 from FEMA. What if Alabama give them $150? You know who they gonna come for, President T? They gonna say, oh, President Trump. Guys, what else in Project 2025 we've seen President Trump do, okay? Targeting PBS and National Public Radio. I'm not sure about how I feel about this. Guys, y'all know how y'all feel about this. How y'all feel about President Trump going after PBS and National Public Radio? Okay, Brandon Carr, head of the Federal Communications Commissions, informed the heads of the National Public Radio and PBS in a letter earlier this year that the agency had opened an investigation into the airing of their programming across their roughly 1,500 broadcast member stations, according to the New York Times. Those stations are licensed by the FCC to operate, but are limited to operating as non-commercial educational broadcast stations. Okay? So in his letter, Carr wrote that he is concerned that NPR and PBS broadcasts could be violating federal law by airing commercials. He says, in particular, NPR and PBS member stations are broadcast underwriting announcements. Man, that's the radio business. That's what they do in radio, right? I'm saying, President Trump, real talk, let's be real with each other for just a second, man. Republican Party, Fox News, Sean Hannity, all them red dudes. I'm saying, like, y'all getting at PBS just because they the ops, man. Just be real. Y'all going at PBS and NPR because they the ops. Ain't nobody care what them dudes saying. Oh, man, come on. Who watch PBS, bro? Who watch NPR? You just because they talk negative. I don't like the idea. And this is why, another reason why I love Elon, because Elon is a free speech type dude. I don't like the idea of you trying to silence someone who speaks negatively about you if you in politics. Now, the law is, if you're talking about defamation of character, if you're defaming somebody's character that's causing them injury, that's completely different. But in politics, all this stuff is public information. President Trump will get at them, they get at President Trump. This the game, bro. You can't get to a mud fight and then call foul. You politics, it's a mud fighting competition. And to me, it's like the Republicans look like they call foul because they mad at Harvard because they teaching liberal stuff. That would be like President Trump going after what's a Christian university that's real famous or real popular. That would be like President Obama or President Biden going after a Christian university, bro. Come on. Like, for real? Oh, because they teaching conservative stuff and we like that. To me, that looks like that just looks weak. That's like Putin stuff. not hating, I'm just being real. That's like Putin stuff. Oh, I'm going to silence you because you don't agree with me. It's like because you scared. That's what, like, the Democrats, okay, so since 2004, the last election with President Bush, right, W, that my boy, state of Texas, man. What's up, Dubs? Nah, I don't know him, but I like him, though. So the second Bush, W, right, since that election, the Republicans only won one election with the popular vote, and that's 2024. So been losing a whole lot of elections nationally, presidential. So that, to me, that make it look like, oh, we're going to try to go after the people that stop us from winning elections. That just looks weak. To go after Harvard, or they're liberal, bro. That's what they are. Who cares? I'm saying they talking smack about me. I'm going to throw mud back at them. I'm going to talk about them. I mean, I just don't agree with that. So President Trump on that, I know why he said he won for Project 2025, because, I mean, it might be popular with Republicans, but I'm just saying. And then freezing financial assistance. A lot of this we've been through, okay? But this is why I'm saying revise 2025, okay? One of Mr. Trump's first actions as president was to establish the White House Department of Governmental Efficiency. Dope. Eli, this your time, baby. Ran by the world famous to slash regulations of spending and restructure federal agency. On the heels of that move, the Office of Management and Budgets, or OMB, issued a 2-page memo in January that ordered a freeze on grant, loan, or federal assistance. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. You see what I'm saying? That before me and President Trump got real cool, y'all. but I wasn't for him freezing no federal grants or assistance, man. You know what I'm saying? But Elon came in, they did what they did. They cut, what, 168 billion? What's the number, y'all? Over 200 billion off the federal budget. You know what I'm saying? And I think President Trump will bring them back in. I think within them 4 years, if he keep coming in with the chainsaw, not on stage with the chainsaw, but quietly with the hacksaw, you know what I'm saying? He keep coming in and getting at that budget. I think, man, he might end up getting $2 trillion off of it within 4 years. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, I wasn't for the freezing federal spending, but them cutting $168 billion off, I mean, hey, it ain't nothing wrong with saving money and being conservative. You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense with that $3 trillion in tax, $4 trillion in tax cuts. But that's another conversation, though. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you're enjoying the content. So what else in Project 2025 President Trump has done? Now, President Trump, so far, all that stuff I don't really agree with. You know what I'm saying? Restricting gender affirming care for minors. This might be something I agree with. Mr. Trump let me go back. President Trump, CBS, they a little, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Trump. His name is President Trump. He is the 47th president of the United States. Issued an executive order in January that seeks to bar the use of federal funds for gender-affirming care, puberty blockers, hormone therapy, and surgical procedures for people under the age of 19. In my opinion, President Trump, you should do that for every human being. What man, let me say this again. What man needs hormone therapy or a puberty blocker and surgical procedures? You a man. Whatever you came from your mother ass is what your gender is. I don't care what pills you take or what procedures you have. And I said that when I was supporting VP Harris. I said that when I was volunteering for her campaign. I said that when I was giving my small donation to her campaign. That a man, no. We ain't for no kind of surgical procedure. Somebody under 19, in my opinion, whatever parent allows a child under 19 to have surgery to change their gender, In my opinion, you a criminal almost. You're not giving your child a fair shot at life. 19? Oh no. Bro, let my son come to me and tell me he a girl or he want to be a girl. Bro, they gonna call the FBI on me. Omar, I'm gonna be slapping that boy all the way upside his head. I'm gonna slap him everywhere you could slap him, boy. You ain't no boy. God made you. You ain't no girl. God made you a boy. That's the part of a parent training a child. Man, what 8-year-old? So listen, this I'm saying this hurt the Democrats. And y'all look up right now, somebody Google what President Trump spent the most money in advertising on. Something that's less than 1% of America's population. This TG situation. This killed the Democrats. I'm saying you a 7-year-old boy, and you coming to me and telling me that you a little girl or you want to be. Boy, you better get on my mama. I'm gonna slap the. Bro, what? Well, my last name, bro, you know who your granddaddy is. You know who your uncle is, bro. You know who your daddy is. You a little girl? Nah, bro. That's on them parents, man. Under 19, President Trump said, and see the Democrats, they support this. They support that. I'm sorry, y'all. I ain't hating on no Democrats, man. A little bit, I kind of am, but they support that. They for that. Omar, they for that. I can't get down with that. It also instructs the Secretary of Defense to take regulatory action to exclude gender-affirming care for minors. Gender-affirming care. See, that's why the Democrats are struggling, bro. Gender-affirming care? No, bro. President Trump, you getting big dubs for that. Big W's. Okay? So that in Project 2025, President Trump, good job. We ain't even going to talk like, yeah, good job. Revoking security clearances. Now, this is a good one. Okay, y'all? Because I'm not going to be too sure about how I feel about it. he took them people's security clearances away. President Trump, what is that you're saying? So funny, though. It's funny. But there's always, if it works, then everybody gonna do it after him. Or they might not. They probably won't. They probably will waste money because that's just what happens in American politics. But I'm saying if it works, Mr. Trump took executive action to start the process of revoking the security clearances of dozens of former intelligence officers who signed a letter in 2020 claiming emails found on a laptop owned by Hunter Biden bore the hallmarks of Russian disinformation campaign. He also announced he would revoke the security clearances of a number of prominent Democrats, including former President Joe Biden and Kamala and Hillary. So basically, all he's doing is not letting them give information to where he feels like it'll hurt him. I really can't speak on that. Because it's stuff that's probably going on in that situation, Omar, that we don't know about. You see what I'm saying? He feel like they probably get information that he don't want them to know, and he feel like it could hurt them in some kind of way. So stopping them from getting security briefings or presidential briefings or whatever, I don't think that's really a big deal. I'm saying they could have access to information of what's going on in America. I'm saying, why would VP Harris really need a security? Like, I don't know how else it hurts them. The president should immediately revoke the security clearance of any former directors, deputy directors, or other senior intelligence officials who discuss their work in the press or on social media without prior clearance from the current director. And you know Hillary Clinton or VP Harris is not going to get no clearance from no current director or no Trump administration. So I'm not sure about how I feel about that. Stripping civil servants of employment protections. Now, President Trump, we're going to get back to having a problem again. We're going to get back to having a problem again, President Trump. Among the slew of actions President Trump took on his first day, he reinstated an executive order issued during his first term that created Schedule F in the expected service. The order creates a new employment category for many career civil servants, effectively stripping them of employment protections. What? The order states that in recent years, there have been numerous and well-documented cases of career federal employees resisting and undermining the policies and directives of the executive leadership. What, President Trump? Principles of good administration, therefore, necessitate action to restore accountability to the career civil service, beginning with the positions of a confidential policy determining, policy making, or policy advocating character, Mr. Trump's order reads. The order makes some minor changes to the president's prior measure. President Trump stripping civil servants of employment protections. You feel me? That Project 2025 is revised. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen for me. Subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, y'all. We only got 2 pages left, y'all. We almost done. We over an hour, y'all. We gonna push through it. You know what I'm saying, Fred? The most important thing I could say to you, though, is how is your life better? The playbook. Project 2025 playbook is what I should have entitled the stream. But since President Trump has been president and he's done all these things that we've gone over that was in Project 2025 that he said, is it working for us? That's the question. Reinstating service members who refuse COVID-19. Now, I'm for that. I don't even got to read that. You gonna kick somebody out the military, bro? It's just so outrageous. You kicking them out the military because they wouldn't get a vaccine? Banning TG people from the military. How many of y'all are against that? I'm gonna read this whole thing because I'm for that, Omar. Banning TG people from the military during his first 4 years, and this was challenged in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court rolled with President Trump. That's his army. That's what the Supreme Court said. I think it was like 7-2. A lot of them. That's his army. Okay, I might be wrong. It might not be 7-2, but I know the Supreme Court said that's his army, and he could however he wants to. During his first, I'm for that. During his first 4 years in the White House, Mr. Trump, there they go, President Trump prohibited TG people from serving in the military. President Biden, they call him President Biden, CBS, and he ain't even the president. And you call President Biden, and President Trump is the president, and you calling him Mr. Trump. That's a problem I have with these media organizations, bro. You in the media. You know what a job is for the media. Y'all don't know what the job is for the media. I'm saying, listen, if you are like Sean Hannity, to where he ain't telling the news, you know Sean Hannity, he like Rush Limbaugh, he riding with the Republicans, you know where he's staying. But I'm saying, if I'm coming on and I'm trying to hear the news, and I hear you calling President Obama, but you calling President Trump Mr. Trump, I'm saying, why would I listen to what you say if I just want to hear the news? I want to hear what's going on in America. Okay? That's what the news is for, right? To hear what's going on in America. So every time I get on your network, everything you're saying about President Trump is bad. Everything. Why would I listen to you? Because I know you don't like him. Just like if I got on your network and everything you're saying about President Trump is good. Everything. Why would I listen to you? Because I know you in his pocket. You see what I'm saying? So the CBS, man, y'all calling him Mr. Trump, but you calling President Biden. To me, bro, that's a little whack. Okay, so let's keep going though. I've noticed that about a lot of media networks that don't like him, y'all. We need to why we can't just do this the right way, y'all. That's why I rock with CNN. Because CNN is critical of President Trump, but they also tell you about the over $2 trillion he went for God in Saudi Arabia. CNN is critical of President Trump, but they'll also tell you about all the investments and jobs in Boeing, because that's where I'm getting most of my information from. You see what I'm saying? They critical of President Trump, but we ain't talking about no $400 million planes, because what's illegal about that? Are y'all a Trump coin? How many of y'all heard about President Trump's meme coin? I'm saying President Trump got a meme coin, so not everybody's up in arms about him making money as he is a businessman. The American people know this, okay? He got 34 felonies on him. The American people know that. They still voted for him. He got sued and he defamation of character. Everything you want to say about him, the American people still voted for him. So you got an opinion about him having a meme coin. I'm saying, who cares? If it's not illegal, who cares? The American people do not care. President Trump, get your money. America get money. President Trump, you get money. You just can't forget about the people. That's all I'm saying. I got paid. I can't say nothing. Me personally, I cannot sit here and say nothing negative about President Trump's administration. I can't. Because the people, Omar, that he put in position, he appointed in that position, they came through for me. So I can't say nothing negative about it. I know a lot of black people got paid when President Trump was president. How many of y'all got money from the stimulus? How many of y'all got them PPP checks? I'm talking about, I know people got 30, 40. I know people buy houses with PPP loans. Oh, everything I love. You feel me? So don't act like people have made money with. That's why they voted for him again. So he got a meme coin. Who cares? I'm saying I don't want to hear nothing about no kind of they Don and Don Jr. and they got hotels all over the Trump organization, Saudi Arabia. Who cares? I'm saying, what's that got to do with me, you, or anybody else? That don't have nothing to do with us. If you saying he did something illegal, that's something totally different. That's a whole different conversation. But let me start right there. I'm going to rewind that, y'all. If you said he did something illegal, that's a different conversation. But here's what I want to ask you. Does the American people care? I'm waiting for y'all answers. Because I said, if you said he did something illegal, you know I'm a legal person now. I'm going to stand 10 toes with the law. That's what we part company. But I know President Trump got 1 trillion lawyers around him. 1 trillion. And anything they do, they're going to run it through them lawyers first. So I know a bunch of legal eyes and minds have took it. I look at it. The American people don't know that, but I know that with that $400 million jet, I already know that you can't fit that in your back pocket. That ain't like 5,000. I could walk around with 5,000 in my pocket. You don't know that's in my pocket. Somebody could give me 5,000 going overseas. Like, see, that's something that's a little tricky and sneaky if he getting money like that. But a $400 million jet, you can't put that in your back pocket. So I know in my mind, that's going to go through every legal check if he can come to America. Why am I going to sit there and talk about it or think about it? Who cares about a $400 million jet? The man won the election. He the president. If he want to fly in style, let him fly in style. Who cares? It's like you jealous and you hating on him For real, for a regular American, if I turn it to your network, because I'm not hating today, y'all, I'm trying to be nice. If I turn it to your network and all you talk is negative stuff about President, I'm trying to watch every network. MSNBC, I want to watch CNN, I want to watch Fox, I want to watch ABC, and today we're doing CBS. Rewatch every news media is one family. So I'm saying if I turn it to your network and every time this man went over there and got $2 trillion, take a chill pill, relax, and tell the truth. How many tens of thousands of jobs he brought back? Just tell the truth. Who cares? If you were smart, you would think that President Trump is going to make a mistake. They're going to make a mistake. That's when you get him, if you're going to get him. If you are against him, you wait for the error. Because when he does you like the boy who cried wolf, when he does make a mistake, who going to turn to MSNBC? Ain't nobody. Because all they going to do is talk about him anyway. So we don't even know when he make a mistake. Because you're talking about a coin that is not illegal. It's not illegal. Is it immoral? A bunch of presidents did immoral stuff. Is it unethical? A bunch of presidents did unethical stuff. Let me tell y'all something. In 2016, President T, I got to do this to you. I'm sorry, bro. We keeping it all the way 1,000. Keeping it 1,000 is how I'm going to help them see what they need to see. In 2016, President Trump, and I seen this on CNN, they being fair and honest, both sides, okay? President Trump said that Hillary Clinton making money off of politics, yada, 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 yada. How many of y'all heard President Trump say that? Don't call me out on it now. You're going to make me do a video in his own words. He was talking about Hillary Clinton and the money she made off politics. Okay, now, so how much money did Hillary Clinton? Millions. Cool. Ain't nobody listening to President Trump then either. That's why Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, about 3 million votes. Because ain't nobody care about the money she making. And Bernie Sanders was saying it too. They were both attacking her about the money she was making off politics. She still won the popular vote. Nobody cares. That's what I'm trying to show y'all, people in the media. Y'all keep killing the Democrats because you talking about stuff the American people do not care. They don't care. Oh, he got a meme coin. Who cares? What's illegal he doing? Because see, every time you come out and say he got or he doing something, they going to go hating again. Here they go hating again. Oh, he won a $400 million. He's not like the other presidents. We understand that. The man worth over $5 billion. $5 billion. It's only like, 800 billionaires in the whole world, less than 1,000. If I'm not mistaken, less than 1,000 out of 8 billion. That means that 1,000 is like a speck on the earth. Compared to 8 billion people, it's less than 1,000 billionaires, and he's worth over 5 billion. Oh, well, he doubled his wealth since who cares? What is he doing for America? What's he doing for you? What he has done for me. That's what's going to matter in the end, okay? Now, we went over banning the TGs from the military. We went over the hiring freeze. Most of that in Project 2025 has came and passed. Withdrawing from the World Health Organization, President Trump, I'm really not for that. I could tell you that right now. Right now. Let me read it real quick, and then I'll talk about it. President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the World Health Organization in 2020 due to his first administration said was a mishandling of the 19 pandemic. President Biden reversed that decision when he took office. President Trump just rolled it back, okay? His latest order directed the Secretary of State to inform the Secretary General of the United States and the World Health Organization leadership the U.S. the decision to withdraw the group. Health organizations in the United States and around the world have warned the move will leave people at greater risk of dangerous outbreaks and give China a more dominant role in the World Trade Organization. I agree with that. That's why I'm not for that. Guys, make sure y'all double tap the screen. If y'all like the video for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell, guys. I need you guys to participate. I need you guys to donate, man, to the cause, man. Your boy, he could do more live streams. We down to 1 stream a week. Guys, if y'all want to donate to the channel, guys, 99 cents, super chat, super stickers, super thanks. Just hit the button below with the $ in it. That's for the people who's watching the content after it was pre-recorded. Your donations are much appreciated. Everyone in here who is in the military, as I said earlier, I want to say thank y'all to all my service members. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for your service. Memorial Day weekend. So guys, we're going to go to rescinding temporary protected status designations. As part of Mr. Trump's sweeping immigration crackdown, his administration has moved to end the temporary protected status program for Haitians and Venezuelans. I don't know if I'm against that. The TBS designation was created by Congress in 1990. It allows the federal government to grant temporary immigrant protections to migrants. I'm not sure why President Trump ended that. Like I want to get into some conversations about the immigrant situation and who he's choosing to allow to come to America, but we'll do that in just a second. I'm gonna jump down in the comments for a minute before we end. Capping indirect costs for university-based research. Y'all know I'm not for this. You see what I'm saying? The National Institutions of Health announced in a February memo that it will be capping the amount of funding. Well, okay, let me take that back. He ain't cut it, he capped it. So I'm for a cap, just not a cut. The amount of funding for the indirect cost at 15%, a cut from between 27 and 28. That ain't too bad. NIA said in this memo it spent billions on indirect costs for more than 2,500 university, medical schools, and other research institutions around the country, and noted that the most private foundations that fund research provide substantially lower indirect costs for the federal government. I mean, you can't win everything. You're going to lose some of them fights. Guys, we down to the nitty gritty, y'all. I'm trying to jump down in the stream, y'all. We can have a great chat for a few minutes, about 10, 15 minutes. We probably going to do about an hour and a half, guys. We had an hour and 17 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I want to jump down here. I want to see what you guys talking about. So Captain Something Wong, dude, Jemerson says, Dual, you said you know why he ended that. You know why he ended what? Which you talking about? Fred says, how did Trump stop it if he was in office? And should Trump get props for pushing it through when he got in? Yes, of course. President Trump should get a bunch of props, mad props. You know what I'm saying? For a lot of things he's done since he's been president. He's done a really good job, in my opinion. Booger Bear asked Trump to send your check in advance. Stop talking about what Trump did for you. Man, what? So it's okay for me to talk about what President Obama did for me. You feel what I'm saying? It's okay to talk about what President Biden's policies, Bernie Sanders' policies. You see what I'm saying? I had $70,000 in debt wiped away off my credit. That was done by some Democrats. Me being approved to be able to get the check in the state of Texas, I had Democrats who had my back, boy. So I'm gonna say, if I could tell you, if it was proper in a situation for me to tell you that Jasmine Crockett rocked with me on a situation, I'm gonna stand 10 toes for it. And I'll slap the taste buds out of anybody who try to come for her. I'll stand 10 toes with Representative Crockett. You see what I'm saying? And she a straight Democrat, and the same thing with Governor Abbott. I'll stand 20 toes with Governor Abbott, boy. 30 toes with Governor Abbott. I'll stand up and salute him. Where you at, Governor Abbott? You know what I'm saying? Where you at, Governor Abbott? I stand 20 toes with you, bro. You feel me? I don't know what they talking about, bro. They play y'all on that Republican Democrat. I ain't know none of that. I know a senator, listen, Mississippi got the best senators in America. Cindy Hyde-Smith is a great senator, and Thad Cochran is too. Great senators. Both of them. Republicans. I stand 100 toes with them. Mississippi got the best senators in America that I have ever encountered. Period. It don't matter if you know them. It don't matter if they're on the national side. I'm talking about what they're doing for the people in their states. If you have a problem in the state of Mississippi and you need some help, go ahead and get up with the senators, Mississippi senators. Call this your not your. Well, I'm not gonna hate on the representatives. I'm just because I hadn't had any. But I'm saying, as far as the senators in the state of Mississippi, if I had plenty of dealings with them, I've seen them work. They're great senators. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Let's see. Omar's talking to Fred. He says the order is less effective. It doesn't automatically lower drug prices. We need to read it again. It's more vague than the Biden policy. Honest says, funny how the worst state in the country has the best senators. I'm sorry, bro. Who says that? Honest, I'm sorry. What I'm saying, like, bro. What you want me to? I'ma just whenever I look at it, I'ma see it how I see it. I don't. It's you saying it's funny how I could tell you a story about Thad Cochran right now. Right now, I could tell you a story. I was having a problem with a government agency. I'm talking about that. The dude at the in the end, he beat me. I ain't gonna lie. But the dude at the government agency, bro, he was on my head. He was like on me for a particular reason that I can't really say publicly. And I called Thad Cochran's office. Thad Cochran, get his name right. State of Mississippi, the senior senator. I called his office, and they called me back in less than 60 minutes, and that problem was solved. And we talking about thousands of dollars. So in less than 60 minutes, the agency that I was having a problem with, that I was running them down for over 90 days, kicking out hundreds of dollars out of my pocket, trying to get in touch with this man for 90 days. I ain't supposed to be paying this money. He got me, this man at that government agency, he got me in a cross where he was finna have me homeless. He got me in a cross, bro, a whole cross, and he had me pinned. And I called Thad Cochran's office, and within 60 seconds, the guy I was trying to get in touch with 90 days. Within 60 minutes, he called me on everything I love. Facts. You want to talk about Senator Hyde-Smith? Same situations. Facts. I ain't dealt with the Congress people in Mississippi, but I dealt with the two senators, and I ain't never had a better experience dealing with any politician than them two senators in the state of Mississippi. Governor Abbott, facts. Jasmine Crockett, facts. The ones that I know, I'm going to just be real and tell you what it is. That's who I am. I don't care about what party you in. What? That's what y'all care about. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Honest Elk said the people of Mississippi. I'm not a person of Mississippi. Hey, Honest, I appreciate you saying that, sir or ma'am. But I'm saying I'm not a person of Mississippi. That's my point. Because if you know that doing that for me, you think I'm the only person who calling their office? Because I know a senator, a Republican, that if Mississippi was America, he would have won. His name, Trent Lott. How many of y'all from Mississippi, y'all know Trent Lott? Trent Lott was famous, boy. He was like he became the Speaker of the House from the state of Mississippi. Look, tell me if I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell me if I'm wrong. That man, like, he was the the minority speaker. He led the Republican Party. Not a Speaker of the House, whatever it is in the Senate. He was the head of the Senate from the state of Mississippi, Trent Lott. So you know Mississippi got good senators. How a state so small gonna get a senator who had the power like that? You ask any black person, he a Republican now. We talking about the 80s and the 90s and into the early 2000s. You ask any black person from the Mississippi Gulf Coast about Trent Lott and what he has done for them, what his office has done for them. That's what it's about. Ain't nobody care about your party. It's what you doing for the people, man. Can you work together with the community, man? Can you solve problems in the community? That's what we looking for. We don't care. I don't care nothing about your party. Nothing. It's a bunch of Republicans in Mississippi. I know them two senators. I'd love to get either one of them senators on this podcast. At any time, I would love to talk to them, interview them, sit down with them, buy them some cheesecake, whatever. Yeah. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? All right, Honest Elk, I feel you. So, guys, anybody else? It looks like that's going to be about our time, y'all. Like, I really appreciate y'all. We've been rocking for about an hour and 26 minutes, about an hour and a half. Omar, we not worried about them haters, man. You always going to have haters, or you going to have people who jump in like trolls. They just trolling me, man. You know what I'm saying? He's just trying to troll me, man. I ain't got time for that, man. But look, man, that's my time, man. Y'all, Project 2025 revised. President Trump, overall, I can't say that you're doing a bad job. In my opinion, you're doing a really great job. You know what I'm saying? I just think that you got to always remember the plight of the weakest person and keep that weak person up. You got to remember the poor, President Trump. You got to come back to the hood, man. President T, I'm come holler at you. Come back to the hood. You feel me? President T, you got to show love to the hood. I'm just playing, y'all. That's my time. But to be real, though, y'all, I am a Christian, man. I love Jesus, man. I love God. Anytime I get in a situation where I have something that's bigger than me, that's stronger than me, more powerful than me, I always give it to God. The part 2 right now is on YouTube. You guys can go check it out. The part 3 is coming soon, man. I'm so excited about it. 100,000 souls. We over 5,000 people already we gave the gospel to. I hadn't even got the track or the literature yet. So, guys, that being said, guys, I invite everyone, man, to go to the YouTube channel. Check out the content, man. If you are not a Christian, Jesus loves you, man. He's willing and ready to forgive you of your sins and to save your soul from hell. Don't listen to no preachers, no churches, or nobody trying to condemn you, regardless of what or who you are. God loves you. You need to know that. That being said, man, that's my time, y'all. I'm about to go, man. Whenever I get in a situation dealing with depression and anxiety, I deal with it all the time. Whenever I get in that situation, I forget myself sometimes. But we got to give that to Jesus. We got to give it to God. Regardless of what I face, man. You know what I'm saying? I say, this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Y'all, that's my time. I love every last one of y'all. I promise I do. I appreciate y'all stopping by. For those of y'all who are watching this after it was pre-recorded, y'all stay with me the whole hour and a half. I ask that y'all like the videos. Y'all go through, look at all the videos, man, not the live stream. Videos. Go like the videos. Make sure y'all subscribe, notification bell if y'all can afford to donate whenever y'all can. I appreciate it. I love every last one of y'all. I'll see y'all next time, man. Legal Wars Live, man. Your boy, Big Ghost Rider. I'm out, man.